I'm Christian Palmaz. I fly both the Bell 429 helicopter and the Pilatus PC-24 business jet. Managing risk is extremely important, obviously, and I think it's the way that we approach these upset training is really identifying it first. And I think having seen it and knowing how to apply the procedure, the recovery procedure, it's great to apply that earlier in the process. So having that awareness that upset is imminent, I think allows you to apply the procedure sooner and have a better outcome. After the training, it's incredible. I knew that I would learn the skills. I didn't know I would gain such a confidence boost, and I think that was what really surprised me, is how confident I feel now in an upset. Getting outside the concept of applying theory, but now getting into actually seeing it, being inverted, finding those extreme, unusual attitudes, and just knowing what to do. I think it was really important for me to fly both the Extra and the jet. The Extra obviously is an incredible platform. There's no regime you can put that aircraft in that's beyond its limits. But training the recovery procedure in the Extra, I found transferred really well into the jet. With the jet, of course, being a heavier aircraft, closer to what we see and feel to corporate jets, I found it was really valuable to train in both. I will absolutely be back here. I think training on an annual basis, just like the rest of my recurrent training with factory training, type-specific training, I think that the UPRT training and getting back here on an annual basis will cement these skills, just like everything else we train for. And so I think an annual basis is right for me. Uh, I found that APS, not only being a spectacular place, really friendly, the staff are amazing, but the instructors are really on a different level. You know, I've been very fortunate to have access to very high level, high quality training throughout my career. This is amongst some of the best training and the best instructors I've ever encountered. I think for initial training, it's very valuable to start in the extra and then move to the jet. I could see myself considering my regime of flight is applicable in the business jet environment, doing my recurrence exclusively in the jet, and also adding in that high altitude regime, which I think is very valuable. Obviously, these aircraft behave very differently at altitude than they do down, you know, below 15,000 feet. Before coming to APS, my thought was that, you know, knowing how we tend to, you know, when we get stressed, or we tend to not rise to the occasion but fall to our training, knowing that loss of control in flight is still the #1 killer in the transport category and in corporate aviation, I knew how important UPRT training. And doing it in the simulator environment is good, but it's nothing like adding in the real thing. And our insurance reached out and asked that we add this to our training regime, and I think it was a great idea. The extra is amazing. The ability to put that aircraft into, extreme attitudes that we would never see in corporate aviation is incredible. And I found it was a great foundation to applying it to the jet, which is obviously heavier, has more momentum, and is more applicable and realistic to what we're flying every day. So I think for me, it was great to do both.